Alright, so turn 12. Not, again, not really too hard of a fight to heal. It could get a little weird if you are, if you're pushing more Benus. But again, still not terribly difficult to heal, even when we were in last tier's content gear, when we were high alien gear. It still wasn't very too bad to heal. So the beginning of this fight, it is again on me to keep both tanks alive. It is on Paladin is tanking Phoenix, and the Warrior will be picking up the first menu. There is time on the pull. I could just put up my dots, so like an arrow 2, arrow 1, a fluid aura, and even probably like a stone 2 cast, or 2. So Paladin isn't sort of. I typically don't have to stone skin, but I guess we're just trying to push a little bit harder. So I preemptively stone skin for this revelation here. That generally is not needed. It's kind of weird. Stutter there. But the Scholar does help out. So for the Blackfires, one thing that we do is we have our Scholar bane their dots onto the Blackfire. So you'll see that our Scholar is in Cleric, and that is something that we do to try to just get some more deeps. And I'm sitting there just pretty much just healing all the things. With Revelations, you do tank swaps, and for me it's just, again, making sure that you're having a heal land as the Revelation is going off, Revelation damage is going off on the MT. So the Brand of Purgatory, we've handled this different ways in the past. The way that we're handling it now in this first part of the phase is the White Mage and the Bard will be passing the brand back and forth. If the first brand goes out to a different target, let's say it goes to the Scholar instead of me, then the Bard will pick it up from the Scholar during the first Flames transition. So, or the first Flames cast, I should say. The Blue Fire, that is handled by our Scholar now. She'll pick up the Blue Fire and deal with the Red Fire. So your Paladin takes all Revelations and Sword Oath. I'm not sure if he took all of them, but at least the first one, first couple, he might. You can see he's switching back and forth between Sword and Shield. Okay, so the way this particular mechanic works is you really want to focus on the person who has the chain. That's the marker above my head, the green marker. So I'm the one with it. The Bard is coming to take it off of me. I'm going to get hit the hardest, and I'm going to get hit twice. So on contact, passing contact, I take a hit. I don't take as much as the Bard because I have a APOC on me. And then once the Flames of Unforgiveness, the cast actually resolves, then the second tick of damage goes off. There it is. And that second tick is typically not as harsh as the first. So I would take the bigger heal, maybe like a Cure 2, as the pass is happening, the brand pass, and then maybe a Cure 1 as the cast resolves. Red fire is on me, and what I do is if I'm close, I will run away from the fireball before it actually starts moving towards me. That gives the blue fire, or Scholar in this case, more time to actually get to the fireball. Again, if it's just spawning really close to me and I don't move, then it'll probably go off, or it'll at least cut it very close. Revelation going off on the Paladin. Got a Cure 2 firing off. So that's the way we deal with, again, mechanics. The blue fire, which is what our Bard has right now, we place it in the back of Phoenix, basically, further back, not right behind the boss, but further back in the center of the room there. This gives the blue fire person who's doing it just kind of full vision of the room, and it's good to have it. I feel like it's good to have it in a static location. That way, that person knows, okay, I'm gonna have to go there. They don't have to go, you know, searching throughout the room to figure out where it is each time, like playing hide and seek. That's definitely not good. So we just keep it in one static place, and that person always knows, okay, I need to go there, pick it up every time. And me as the healer and me as the brand, I know that after blue fire, Flames of Unforgiveness is going to go off, that I have to be ready to heal the passing of the brand. So you can see that I knew that he was going to get hit twice, so I didn't bother healing myself, even though I was lower. I gave him priority, so he would live through the second tick of damage. So that's pretty much this first phase. That's not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot to heal. All the damage is very predictable. There's precursors, there's, you know when the damage is coming. There's really no surprises. I think that pass was a little late, that's why I died there. This made things really weird as far as healing this last phase, but again, this is not optimal. You obviously want to go into this phase with much more mana, but since we're pretty well geared, I wasn't really too worried about mana. So first, Flames of Rebirth. These don't hit for too much in the beginning. They progressively get worse. So for the first Flames, I will generally just medic a 1. As well as the second Flames, just med 1. It won't, it should more than enough cover the damage. I know a lot of people like to fire off a med 2, but I just don't feel like it's really needed. You see, med 1, everyone is topped off, but the tanks who are constantly or consistently taking damage. Now again, I had to heal this differently because I died, so this is typically not, it's going to get a little weird at times. So there's another Medica 1, the Scholar did Sucker, doesn't have to, but is probably helping me out because I died, and wants to make my mana usage just a little bit less stressful, which is really nice. But yeah, from the third Flames on, or the third stack, this is where you're probably going to need to use something a little bit stronger than Med 1, or kind of come up with a different approach to healing the rest of it. So what I will do here, let's see how I haven't watched this in advance. I don't know what I did. Okay. So you don't have to have an AoE heal going off right as that AoE damage is going off. That's actually a habit that you're probably going to break, because you do run the risk of your tanks dying. Your tanks can die if you've just chosen to sit there and AoE heal. So from the third stack on, you're just going to have to watch and make sure that you're not saying, okay, I'm going to just cast X spell during this time and everything's going to be good, because there is a chance that everything won't be good, especially if your group is under geared for the content. Your tank should be the priority after that flames damage is going off. So a lot of times I will be casting a Cure 2 on a tank as that flames damage is going off instead of healing the group. So here's something that I opt to do, is I stagger the Medica 2 casts. So rather than have it go off as the damage is going off, I try to have it go off midway through a flames cast, and that staggers the hot a little bit. And what I mean by that is I will have a GCD free. So if I were to med 2 as this flames is going off, that GCD is now used up. Since I'm doing it mid cast here, or midway, I will have that GCD free to heal something else or do something else in the event, you know, something goes really wrong. So that is something that I like to do, is stagger the actual hot between the cast. See that I'm just focused on the tank. And I don't think I use another heal here. I just let Medica 2, we had a sucker there as well. Let's just let Medica 2 do its thing. And I'm just healing the tanks. So I guess I do med 1 here. So for this, I see that we have a Sacred Soil up. So I know that with 6 stacks, that's going to help pretty decent amount. I'm not even bothering healing, I'm just making sure the tanks stay alive. I also see that now we have Mantra up. So figured it's a good time to med 2. And we've already transitioned out of that phase. So I didn't use Cure 3 once. And once you get up to like higher stacks, then Cure 3 does become useful. Or if your Cure 2 is proccing a reduced mana cost for Cure 3, that would also be a pretty good time to use it. But I never used Cure 3 once there. Never had to. It's just being patient, letting that med 2 actually run its course, rather than trying to getting nervous because everyone's not topped off and healing, you know, too much too early. Then you run risk of running out of mana much quicker than you should. Okay, so a couple things changed during this fight. So Brand, when it comes out, we now move it onto the tanks. So the tanks actually pass the Brand during this phase. So if it goes out on anybody, the off tank will come and pick it up off that person. So in this case, you can see to my right, our Scholar is targeted with the Brand. Right now, Caraway, the warrior, is the off tank. So he is actually going to go and pick it up off of her. There it is. And from this point forward, the tanks will be passing the Brand back and forth amongst themselves. Fountain Fire, that cast went off and resolved. And we have 4 people rotate through the fountain. So we do have a specific order. We've changed it over time, but our current order is the White Mage, and then Black Mage, Bard, Scholar. So those 4 will go in that order every time the Fountain of Fire goes off. The only difference is if one of us dies. So if one of those people are dead, on TeamSpeak we'll say we're going to need someone to jump into the fire next, and that's when a melee most likely would jump in and take that person's spot on the priority list. So Callistra, actually you're watching right now, was telling me that as the raid leader, that person was issuing orders to their group and saying, okay, you need to go in the fountain. That's kind of silly to me, since I'm the person going in first. It is my responsibility to get in the fire. Like, I shouldn't have someone have to tell me, oh, by the way, this cast is going off and you should probably get in there. It's on me to actually look at the cast. Again, it's scripted, so it's coming in the same order every time. So it's on me to get in there and to make sure that I'm not failing on my end. The thing that we used to do when everyone was still learning the fight is, I would say, Hadley in. I guess in that case, because Aaron was part of the group, we'd say Aaron next, and then Aaron would be like, hey, Aaron in, or I would say, okay, Hadley out, and Aaron would say Aaron in, Icy next, Aaron out, Icy would be like Icy in, Bonnie next. So as we were learning the fight, we would have calls on TS like that by the people who were in the fountain, and that just helped because you're not fully comfortable with the fight, you're still kind of learning, and just little audio cues like that helped a lot as far as just making sure that mechanic was dealt with, and we're still trying to do what we need to do. At this point, we're so comfortable with the fight that I don't have to say anything other than I'm in, I'm out. That's about it. So I'm in. You take 2 stacks. Let's see, I have 1 now. And it's kind of interesting with that first stack because Revelation is timed. So you can get you can, if you're not comfortable, you can actually tunnel on the tank damage and take 3 stacks. So you want to be you want to be really careful with that. So that Revelation damage is going off, you're like, all right, I know I gotta heal. So there's a second stack, and a lot of times you might be tempted to tunnel, but it's extremely important that after that Revelation goes off, get your heal off, that you watch for that second stack and you make sure you actually get out and not take a third. The third will kill you. And with pinions, it's the beam with the birds charging at you. Just move it away. Move it away, don't stand in someone else's path, unless you absolutely have to and you know you won't die. But it's pretty simple. Just be optimal with it. Don't tunnel and cause the bird to hit a bunch of people. So Flames of Rebirth, since the boss only has a stack here, it doesn't hit for anything. I mean, barely any damage there. So Fountain of Fire, it's out. Again, I'm the first person in, and I've got 5 seconds left on my second stack. You don't have to worry. When this actually, when the first kind of charge or whatever you want to say goes off, my 2 stacks will wear off. You don't have to actually stand outside of the fountain until it wears off. You can walk in even though I still have 2 stacks. You'll see 2, 1, gone, and then boom, stack comes up. Just keep that in mind for anyone that is going in first with 4 people. You don't have to wait outside. You can just jump right in the fire and you'll be okay. Tank died there to Revelation, looks like. I think he was supposed to hollowed, but he didn't. Or I could be wrong. That could have been my fault too. I wasn't really paying that much attention. So, did we wipe to this? Well, we might have wiped to this, huh? Did we live? Sure. Okay, so there's just pretty much one more like phase, which is coming up here. And that's what we call the dodge phase. So during this phase, I try to have a Divine Seal Medica 2 out as that flames damage is going out, since we're going to be spread out throughout the room. And another thing that I try to do is move towards the very back of the room, opposite of where Phoenix is being tanked. Since our Scholar, again, gets DPS priority over the White Mage, I just try to make things as easy on everyone else as possible. The tanks obviously have to be there. The DPS want to be in range to be able to hit as it lands. So I just move as far back to give everyone else room. As far back as possible to give everyone else room, since I'm kind of the least important as because to engaging the boss quickly once it comes back. So that's why I'm running away from everyone. that's pretty much this phase. Just with pinions, just dodge. Be smart with where you point them, that sort of thing. Yeah, do we actually wipe here? I don't know. Boss has a lot of stacks. I think I thought we had wiped once this week. So first stack, second stack, revelation. Yeah, I think pretty sure we wipe here. But I think it's good practice. I know for a lot of people, it's like, okay, we screwed up, so let's just go ahead and wipe and start over. We try to get in the mentality of, okay, just never quit. Do what you can. Try to develop skills to make, you know, good, solid decisions as the crap hits the fan, basically, you know. So that's a good home gang by Caraway. He would have died otherwise. Maybe we actually lived through this. I just don't remember. No, we died. I don't think so. That's just too many stacks. But let's go ahead and fast forward then to like the end of the actual kill. A little too far back. This is, yeah, it's far back enough. So dodge phase repeated, med 2 out, divine sealed med 2 out. Again, I'm towards the opposite side of the room, taking my pinion. Hopefully don't hit the bard and monk there. Yep, good. Looks like it's a much cleaner attempt this go around. Don't have to move much. Fountain's right there, and that's pretty much all. That's the fight. It's rinse and repeat. After this, that's how we deal with the fires. That's our fountains. That's how we deal with Brand. The tanks handle it. As far as healing goes, we pretty much just heal whatever. There's not strict healing assignments in this. The only other thing I could mention is it is possible for the person in the fountain to get targeted by a pinion, one of those flaming tether bird things. So if that person is going to get hit by the pinion while getting stacks, you just have to make sure that you're compensating by throwing them some extra heals. The timing does matter too. They have to be fairly well timed. That's another, I guess, thing that you'll want to keep in mind, scenario that you can run into. So again, I just say, I'm in, revelation, heal, I can stack, I'm out. Next person will go in. That's pretty much it. In this case. So that's turn 12. And let's go to turn 13.